Good morning, Eagle X here, and today I have this week's MarketWatch. And start things out, as always, I like to start with sealed products, see where the prices are. We've been talking about booster boxes a whole lot lately, and that's one thing I like to check every week, and you can kind of see what the lows are for each product. So obviously right now your cheapest boosters are between Great Legends 1.5 and Double Diamond. If I had to pick one of these saying it's undervalued, it's going to be 1.5, kind of like last week, but it's starting to slowly have an uptick. Not that fast though. And then if we move over here, I haven't covered this yet because it's such a volatile market, but the Ex1 cards are a very big part of the market right now, because when National comes around, and Nationals I think are in like 3 weeks now, people want to have their cards already. And with TCG Player removing the pre-sale restrictions, it allows any person to sell and list gift box cards they have in their possession. Oh, that's a good copy there. And people are ordering now during these more volatile times because they want to have their cards on the day of to make sure they're guaranteed, especially if they don't plan on opening a sealed product. So like that's why you're selling Analog Boys, or you see them selling for like $13 to $14 each, Ice Walls for roughly 11s through 12s, and Diaboromons that I've sold one copy at $25, but it looks like it's getting closer to 30 now. And you kind of see for like some of the staple cards, is it worth picking up now? Well, if you want to have that guaranteed card for Nationals and you just don't see yourself buying boxes, it's probably not a bad idea. Given how small the set is, if you do get a booster box, you'll probably get a lot of cards. I imagine in 2 boosters, you'll be able to pull everything. But like I said, most notable cards going to be Analog, Use, Ice Wall, Diaboromon stuff, and Imperial stuff probably. With a few like support cards for existing decks, like the Gaboos and Agumon here. But that's why these uncommons are fetching like $4 a piece, because you typically want 4 of them in your newer decks. Anyways, moving on, we have our staples for our tier 1 decks right now. First, we got Jasmine. You need the Greymon, carry attack +1. $18 roughly. It's not bad. It's what's roughly been fetching. I do believe it was BT8 is when Japan got their reprint of this Greymon. I don't think it even sees play over there much anymore, besides in Jasmine decks, which are still being played. And then you have your promo P010 Greymon that's using Agumon deck. He's good. If you're looking for a more budget deck, I'd probably be looking into building Agumon, as it has lots of really cool mechanics, and overall it's probably one of the cheaper tier 1.5 decks. And 426.9, nice. And we're going, speaking of Jasmine staples, Jasmine itself, it's starting to go down a bit for the main SR, and the alt art has slowly been declining a little bit, not a whole lot. People are excited for Event Pack 2 with the new alt art Jasmine. Some people like it more, some people like it less. But it's going to impact some of the high rarity cards with like some pre-release stamped cards that have new printing in Event Pack 2. Moving over to blue staples, we're seeing Davises are taking a dip here. And my best conclusion for why Davises are dipping right now, aside from the fact that he is still tier 1, so he is going to be a higher dollar rare, is because Pepsi Bond's becoming more popular. And in Pepsi Bonds, if you don't know, that's the red Gabumon base deck with the Ties, Delicate Plans, and Lightning Joust. You don't run as many Davises. You actually cut down the number you use, and as you can see here, it's kind of dropping in price, which means there's less demand for him. And it's actually kind of a similar story for the Dash Pack Gaboos here. These have been going up on like the last set. I think last time we looked at these, they were roughly 13s like last week. And now they're approaching closer to that $20 mark. And that's because you put 4 of these in Pepsi Bond. He is the one that searches any tamer. It's not color restricted. So that's just something to keep your eye on. Next, Security Control is one of the other tier 1 decks. You can see Magna Angemons, 30 and 15 each. If you want the pretty ones, you pay twice as much. If you want the regular ones, you pay $15 each. For an SR, that's tier 1 play. An old set, like 1.0, 1.5, it makes sense. But he will be falling off after this set. He's using the Mastamon starter decks again as like a call target, but he's not going to be fetching the same dollar price tag, if I were to guess. And then to pair with that is Warp Defeat, $70 alt art, roughly $60 regular art. If you like the alt art, pay $10 more. This is a 4 of in a lot of decks. It's used in some Commander Mon decks as like a 2 of. It's used in Security Control as a 4 of. It's like a 2 to 3, maybe even 4 of in some black decks. So just something to keep an eye on. If you haven't picked these up, they're pretty good long-term cards, I'd say. It's your only interaction with Tamers. With next set being all Tamer focused, this might be a really good like anti-meta black card to pick up, because black seems to be really good at those anti-meta picks. And as we look ahead in future formats, Shine Greymons, they've actually dipped a small bit, but there's not many listings at the sub $5 mark. Actually, it might have already been, yeah, it's one listing with $5 shipping, then you have a few with $4. If you don't have a set yet, guys, pick these up. It's going to save you a hassle. It looks like you can get 4 from the same persons for like 20 bucks, basically. It's just going to be a nice pickup for now. An interesting point here I want to point out. Remember, guys, when I told you to look out for your Tamers for Shine Greymon? Because these are cards that are going to be going up in price. I'll do a quick refresh here. Box Topper TKs doubled in price. TK Kari stamps quadrupled in price. These were $1 last week. This was $10 last week. Along with TP3 ones also. Like, these got bought out. Like, people are getting ready for Shine Greymon. And I did not mean to click that there. I don't think we'll see Kari spike as much. She's like a 1, maybe 2 of, but TK Kari is just objectively better for what she does. And you're probably not going to see a tie or this TK spike. You might see this one go up a bit more just because he is the cheapest Tamer, but you're going to be using that new Zoe Tamer. So, guys, if you're running out of time to pick up your high rarity Tamers at least, the regular TKs, they're probably going to be upticking, I guess. You could hop here. As you can see, they're upticking. They're going to keep going up until set comes out, until he either booms in price or he just holds and plateaus at his current price. Anyways, moving on to red now. Digimon promos. I've been telling you guys, you want to pick up this promo. This is used in tier 1 red decks. Or at least one of the tier 1 red decks. You play Ancient Greymon, you play Jasmine. Those are your red decks. And this is like your core for those red hybrid decks, so you can do combos. Because it goes into Ancient Grey, and as you can see right now, $30 for the Secret, $40 for the Alt Art. I think this is your time you really want to pick them up before they go up anymore. I can definitely see the regular Ancient going for 40 to 45, and the Alt Art going for roughly 55, 60-ish, if I were to guess the price ceilings on them. After red, though, we got some black stuff. Alphamon's going to be that good long-term hold right now. X Antibody looks like it'll be getting more support in BT9. So, and with some cards that specifically say Alphamon in its name already in upcoming sets, this card's going to see more play. Right now, he's kind of a niche card in Black Royal Knights, and that's it. And Cinerizamon promos. This is a card that's like 4 of in lots of black decks. He's kind of hit his bottom point. He's kind of upticking again because he's seeing more play in the next set than he is this set, because Black Royal Knights kind of failed. I shouldn't say fail, but like it's not performing as well as people were expecting. And moving on to black, we got Black Royal Greymons. You can see the alt art tier spiked. They're bought out. The regular ones were like 11 bucks. If you want to, I would be picking up these secrets. $11 secret that sees future play. It's something you want to look into getting. And now, moving on to some of the cards we were talking about last week. They announced a reprint of these. I'm going to refresh this. The Gaia Forces are dipping. Hammer Sparks are dipping. These are sub 90 now. These were like $150 for the longest time. And they're starting to go down. Looks like Kaida's Breath holding all right, though. But if you really like this Gaia Force alt art, I would be watching this card. I can see it getting to roughly 50 bucks. Yeah, it's just going down, guys. But $50 is what I would expect to pay for an English one. So let's see how close I get to that in my predictions. And we mentioned Event Pack 2, but Event Pack 1 looks like it'll probably be ending its print run at the end of 2021, guys, or of our 2021 season with Nationals. Event Pack 2 is announced, so if there's any cards that you're looking to pick up, now is probably the time. Seals Dramon was already bought out. It's 75 bucks, guys. If I were to pick out any of them from Event Pack 1 to quote-unquote invest in, it would be some of the blockers. they always have a niche spot in metas, and Woodmon, guys, he's $17. Just pick up your tree guy for $17, max rarity blocker. The Unimon's going to see play in Lord Knight still. The Grizzlymon's niche play in Gaboos decks. And I think those are the big... Oh, Vilemon, he's in purple. He's always going to be played, guys. And then Lord Knight's going to see play, but there's a higher rarity printing with the finalist stamp on it. So if you're looking for max rarity, hold out on this. It's going to keep dipping in price. And something I thought was interesting, guys. Remember when these Koromon eggs were like 45, 50 bucks each? They're 80 now. So if you're looking for some extra money, there's very few listings. You may want to move some of these Koromon promos. They're very pretty. They're foiled, and I think there's a little bit of texturing with them too. I haven't looked at my set in a bit, but these are probably the last time you'll be able to pick them up for a reasonable price, unless there's more listings. But this card hasn't been printed for a while. It's been a few months since we've had our June event, and that was our last printing of this card. Moving on, card I think we will see dipping soon, based on ban lists and restrictions. This card, loathmong, might die entirely if Mega Digimon Fusion gets banned. So if you have extra copies of this card, I'd probably look into moving it, unless you think it's safe from the ban list, which I'm very skeptical of. You may want to look into picking up this card after a restriction ban list announced, because that's when we will see a big drop if it gets hit hard from its support cards that enable its archetype. Or if it doesn't get touched at all, it'll probably go up, because this was already a good deck in Japan and still is. Another card to look out for. If you're looking at BT8 EX2 meta right now, Beelzemon seeing play. And for the regular art, this guy was like 18 bucks a few weeks ago, guys. 12 bucks. Like, he was dirt cheap. I remember telling someone to pick it up. It's a secret. And now that I'm doing these videos, I kind of have a little bit more way of keeping track. But this card, if it continues seeing play, it's going to go up. But it will go down again, I imagine, before the set comes out. It'll probably have like a $25, $20-ish floor price before it'll go back up again. When EX2 comes out. But we have some time, so hopefully we see a little bit of a dip if you haven't picked them up yet. And to kind of go with that, the Gallantmons, I just want to do a quick overview of them all. But the Store Champion and Alt Art ones are fetching basically the same price. It really comes down to preference. Some people like the full body art. I love circuit arts, so this is my go-to one. But you can see the regular ones are going for roughly 12s. These were roughly 8s a week or two ago. And those are all the Gallant ones we have that are kind of relevant. Like, you have this one here, but he's not like your go-to one. Especially when you have Blitz, it just doesn't matter. You have that Digivolve cost of 4. And then the last card I'd really be looking at picking up, guys, Metal Greymon Secret Rare. If you plan on playing Machinedramon, this card's like a niche 1 of or 2 of type of thing. As you can see, it's like a $10 secret. When people get Machinedramons and they're trying to pick these up, these are going to start going up in price. Well, guys, with that being said, that's this week in MarketWatch. I hope you enjoy. Please leave a like and comment, and go ahead and hit that notification bell. I've learned that you say that now instead of like, comment, subscribe. With that being said, have a nice day, y'all.